I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow. Vice President Ford will be sworn in as president at that hour in this office. As I recall the high hopes for America with which we began this second term, I feel a great sadness.
August 8, 1974, Richard Nixon became the first U.S. president to resign. Nixon's downfall was largely due to the Watergate scandal, which began on June 17, 1972, when 5 men were arrested at the Watergate complex in Washington, D.C. They were caught breaking into the national headquarters of the Democratic Party. E. Howard Hunt and G. Gordon Liddy were also accused of illegal activity. Liddy, who had been general counsel to the committee to re-elect the president, was fired when he refused to answer FBI questions about Watergate. These 7 men were indicted on charges of burglary, conspiracy, and wiretapping, and were later sentenced to prison terms. At first, it seemed that Nixon had nothing to hide.
And I pledge to you tonight from this office that I will do everything in my power to ensure that the guilty are brought to justice and that such abuses are purged from our political processes in the years to come, long after I have left this office.
However, many people, including Democratic presidential candidate George McGovern, thought Nixon did have something to hide.
I charge that the Nixon administration commanded that the Democratic bugging case be whitewashed by the Justice Department and the grand jury under its control.
McGovern hoped that the Watergate case would be a major campaign issue which would help elect him president, but Nixon won in a landslide victory in November. By February, it became clear that a cover-up had begun almost immediately after the Watergate break-in. The deputy director of the committee to re-elect the president told federal prosecutors that men in Nixon's inner circle were involved. He said they destroyed incriminating evidence and gave false testimony. In early 1973, the U.S. Senate established an investigative committee led by Senator Sam Ervin. Nixon's ex-consul, John Dean, told the committee that Nixon knew all about the cover-up. In July 1973, a former White House official testified that Nixon had secretly tape-recorded his conversations. The tapes were subpoenaed, but Nixon, citing executive privilege, refused to provide them.